If current estimates hold, the population will reach 9 billion by 2038. One of the major problems we face is feeding everyone. Diseases are at an all-time high. The current model for food production is unhealthy and unsustainable. There's got to be a better way.
Scientists say that if 14% of the world planted a permaculture garden or some type of garden just in their backyard, we can replenish the entire earth. So we're setting out to find people who are doing things differently. We'll be looking into alternatives to current food practices that are damaging our health and environment. We'll be meeting the chefs, farmers, restaurateurs, and entrepreneurs who are making a difference. And you'll find out just how easy it is for you to become a part of the solution. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Hit that like button, subscribe, tell all your friends. We'll be eating the freshest food, meeting amazing people, and seeing what we can do to become a healthier, more environmentally friendly world right here on The Fork and Truth. Who doesn't like to travel and stay in hotels? Unfortunately, almost all the hotels in the US use unsustainable food practices in their restaurants. They're beginning to work on water and food waste issues, but they still source their food from industrial farming. With around 53,000 hotels and almost 5 million rooms in the US, that is a lot of mouths to feed in their restaurants and room service. This results in an exorbitant fossil fuel cost to get the food to the hotel, and not to mention it is less nutrient dense and more environmentally harmful to source and use. So is there a better way? Well, stick around, because on this episode, we're visiting a restaurant at one of the most prominent hotel chains in the US, and they're looking to do things a little differently. This afternoon, I am in beautiful Savannah, Georgia, where it is restaurant week, and I am getting ready to head into 22 Square, where Chef Chris Cummer and his crew are cooking up some amazing food with fresh, seasonal, local, and organic food from places like Billy's Botanicals, where I was at earlier today. Let's see what they got going on.
22 Square, I've been here for about 8 months. I've been in the industry for at least 25 years, from standalone restaurants, catering halls, country clubs, hotels. I mean, every 2 years I'm pretty much on the move, but at the same time it's kind of a new adventure, because what I do is wherever I land, I embrace where I'm at. So I completely change my cooking style to meet whatever's ingredients are around me. Right. So, I mean, I've been in the South for almost my entire life, and I went to the Northeast. What people want up there is completely different than what people want in the South. It was just fun to get up there, and now to come back down to the South with that experience as well really helped me elevate my Southern cooking.
Cool, so your knowledge of cooking just expands in each city that you go to.
It just kind of evolves as I get exposed to other cultures and cuisines.
What do you guys do here at 22 Square to set yourself apart from the other restaurants in Savannah?
We definitely embrace our neighborhood and try to bring it in the doors. We do like some salons and things like that to kind of get people within the neighborhood recognized. So it's not just about us, it's also about what other people are doing in the neighborhood. On top of that, we are Farm to Fork. We definitely believe in sustainability and very responsible farming. I don't limit myself to a 75-mile roll or anything like that. I try to support all the local businesses I possibly can, but if they're not doing things the right way, I'm not going to use them just because they're local. And that's where kind of a farm-to-table thing gets a little cloudy.
Right.
But if I feel, I mean, if it's 150 miles away and I can drive and check out the farm and they're doing a great job, that's who I'm going with.
It's fresher too in the flavors, and at least the places that I've gone to, you can tell a big difference between a farm-to-table restaurant and one that just kind of sources from across the US and it's frozen
or if it's been on the truck for too long, and by the time you get it, it's got 2 days left in it. Where here, I mean, you can get it picked the next day, and some certain vegetables, you want it that way. You want tomatoes where you pick them off the plant and then you serve it, and not you get them like when they're barely blushing and then they're either treated with gas or they sit around until they ripen. It's a huge difference.
Right.
So for me, I want to know the farms and I want to know the products, and I just want to make sure it's what I want to serve, something I'm proud of. And the great thing also about the farm to fork movement is most farmers love to experiment. So you'll go to them and be like, look, I want kohlrabi. No one's growing kohlrabi. I can't even get it at the store. Can you grow it for me? They're like, sure, we'll give it a try. Does it always work? No, but they like the challenge. We actually compost all the food that we waste, like all the food, let's say scraps, not like scraps from vegetables, we turn that to stock, but if someone doesn't finish their plate and doesn't want to take it home, we compost all that, and then we actually, the people that compost it for us, give it back to us, and that's the soil we use on our rooftop.
What are you guys growing on the roof?
So right now we're doing turnips, beets, carrots, and radishes. So the radishes, they grow pretty quick, so it's easy for us to keep up with that on our salads. And then we do a turn up the beet dish where I take the turnips and beets and I pickle the stems, I crisp the leaves, I roast the roots, I serve them raw. We use the whole plant. So not only are we growing it on our roof, we waste nothing. Granted, that's a little bit harder to keep up with, so I have some local farms helping me out as well, but for the most part, we try to do it all up on the roof. So we were on the roof, we saw what I'm growing up there, and pretty much I can keep up with the business demand. Sometimes I need help, but this is a candy stripe beet from the roof. We grow all three types up there. We grow the red, the gold, and the candy stripe.
All right.
So we got a little baby turnip, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna put together the turnip the beet.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we take the red beets and we roast them and just make a simple puree, right? So I'm just gonna stripe that right across. We've got some gold beets that we just roasted with a little bit of olive oil. Then we have some roasted turnips as well. And then what I also like to do, I like the texture and the flavor of putting roasted with raw. So I just take my beet from the rooftop and just give it a couple little slices. Then I follow it with a turnip, and it just gives it a lot more depth. It's not only beautiful, but I just love the flavor of it because it's so mild as opposed to like a red beet that's real earthy.
Right.
I wouldn't serve that raw, but this is very, very mild for a beet.
Right.
Then we pickle the stems because we don't want to waste anything. And then we crisp the leaves. You can braise the leaves, you can saute them, but I like to crisp them to give it a little bit more texture as well.
Do you just bake them to crisp them, or do you fry them?
You can do either way. We bake them, trying to keep it healthier, but you can definitely fry them.
Okay.
Then finish it with a little, I like the orange blossom honey from Savannah Bee Company. I think it works very well with this dish. And then finish it with just a little bit of salt. And that's it.
It looks beautiful. The colors are outstanding.
Bunch of different things going on.
Really nice. The textures. I love the puree, and then the textures of the raw beet. And that, would you say it was honey or what?
It's orange blossom honey.
That gives it a nice finish.
Just
That's
to give it a
really
little
good.
sweet, and they get
Yeah.
the brininess of the stems.
Earthiness of the beet. It's perfect.
And no waste.
No waste. Every part of the beet is in here. I'm gonna eat the whole thing.
Do it. Like I said, no waste.
Right?
Even on the plate.
With a few different farms nearby, what's the one you really kind of go to, or is there one?
Year-round is Billy's Botanicals because it's aquaponics, so it's year-round. So even when there's freezes, it might slow them down a little bit, but it's all indoors. So that's where I get my head lettuces, my kale. They go out shrimping for me. They do a lot for me. Okay. So, and it's all local. They sometimes will provide me with fish out of the Atlantic and things like that as well. So they're kind of my go-to. And then I have a bunch of other ones. It all depends on what's going on at the farmer's market. We try to make it out there every Saturday and just see what's going on and buy stuff from there. And that's what we actually use for our vegetarian specials throughout the week.
We're just going up on the roof. I mean, you just picked a radish, a carrot, and a turnip. And
Right.
it is the way to go. And more people, I feel as though, should have gardens in their house or something.
Better to do what you can, and it's fun if your neighbors are doing the same things because they might be growing something that you're not. I mean, if anyone that ever grows summer squash realizes that you only need 1 or 2 plants. If you have more than that, you're just knocking on all your neighbors' doors. Take some zucchini, and it's kind of fun.
Do you guys change up the menu quite a bit?
We kind of have a set menu per season, but with that being said, we have 3 different rotations. So we rotate our seafood special, our vegetarian special, and our soup, and it's all based on what's in season.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Every chef's favorite question.
Right.
It's ever changing. I feel that warm salads are kind of a cool thing, like with grains and greens, and that's kind of where I'm going now because I'm really into vegetable farming.
How many crew do you have working with you here?
We have a small crew. It is very small, probably about 6 people in the back of the house, including myself. And then we only have like 3 servers and then 4 bartenders. We have a very vast mixology program here, which also embraces the same thing, the seasonality and just different flavors, and we pair up very nicely.
That's what I hear. I hear they're very talented behind the bar.
They're very talented behind the bar.
I have to check them out.
Okay, so this next dish we're doing, what I really want to embrace right now is the farmer and the vegetable farmers and all that in our area, but have fun, like do something different. So I have Romanesco cauliflower, which is, it looks strange, but it's actually just a real flavorful cauliflower, which I've already pre-roasted with a little bit of olive oil. And what I'm gonna do is warm this up. And what I like to use, I'm using a toasted quinoa. So when you toast quinoa, what you do is you rinse it, then you put it in a hot oil in a pot. You just gotta make sure you stand back a little bit because it will pop. So that actually toasts the quinoa. Is this a stock we made from all of our vegetable trimmings? And this is some baby kale from Billy's Botanicals. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna throw those in there. And we don't want them to cook too much because remember, this is kind of just a warm salad. So I immediately turn off the heat. I'm just gonna flip it a little bit, and that's just gonna slightly wilt the salad. You want your greens still a little raw because they're gonna continue to cook with the warm grains on top. I like to use pickled pumpkin.
Ooh, yes.
Then we have some pecans from Georgia that I candied. And then when I'm using one ingredient, I like to use multiple aspects of it. So of course I have to have some raw pumpkin seeds. And then we finish it with this mustard vinaigrette. So it's just a nice warm bowl of salad right there.
Beautiful. Do you cook with a lot of grains or?
I do. I mean, I really like freekeh. I do quinoa because it's well known now. So people are more likely to order something like this because it's quinoa, because I originally did have freekeh with it, and it wasn't moving that quick because people just like, what's freekeh? What is that? I mean, it's just immature. It's immature. So what it is they actually burn the wheat plants while the berries are still green. So that's the only thing that's kind of left, and they just pick them all out, and that gives it like a real smoky, almost tobacco-y flavor.
Oh man, I didn't realize you were filming.
Oh, you're good. Don't worry about it. We'll cut around it. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We'll cut around it. It's all good.
I love slightly wilted grains. I mean, what you want to do is just make sure that you don't cook your grains, because that'll you'll lose it. But if it's like you just quick toss and then put it on top, you can see that it's just barely wilted.
Cauliflower is one of my favorites.
Yeah, and that's my favorite cauliflower. Not only does it look cool, but
Yeah, I was gonna. What kind of cauliflower is it?
it's called Romanesco. It's just like one of those ancient cauliflowers that's making a comeback.
Knocked it out of the park, David. Delicious. Still a little warm. That's an Atkins diet worst nightmare right there.
Right?
You gotta eat the bread, eat gluten.
Thank you. Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
What you guys do here is amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, everything I tasted was out of this world delicious, fresh. Rooftop fresh.
Here at 22 Square, we're all about just the experience. I mean, you're gonna come in here, you're not gonna be rushed. You're gonna have great food, it's gonna be fresh. You're gonna enjoy great cocktails and just have fun. And it's an experience. You come here for like 2 hours. We're not trying to get rid of you. We act like everybody's family. Like if it's not myself in the dining room talking to the guests, it's one of my sous chefs. And we're happy that we're doing what we're doing and we like to share it with people.
Cool, I love it.
So delicious. Get down to 22 Square.